5 seconds, 2 seconds, ready. Those who have no commitment to the concept of public undertaking, socialism, and working for the underdog should have no place in top management of any undertaking. The difficulty lies in that we are half-hearted in these matters. We have the mentality of private businessmen, and also we have the concept and the ideal of a public undertaking. The increasing participation of workers is the only safeguard for the success of any public undertaking in this country. There have been cases of inflated sales and fraudulent transactions about which my honorable friend made a pointed reference. I would submit that the Economic Intelligence Bureau should play an effective role in checking malpractices in such big undertakings. Unless this is done, public undertakings would come in a big way for sharp and hostile criticism from all those who are opposed to the ideology of socialism. As regards 4% interest allowable on the quantum of compensation, my honorable friend has said that this is not fair. The government cannot afford to pay the same amount of higher interest as is done in the case of private sector. The Constitution itself has provided that the quantum of compensation would not be justifiable. It has been done with a deliberate objective. If compensation at market value is to be paid to private individuals, then it would not be possible to take over the undertakings at all. If the shareholders have taken the maximum benefit out of their investment, they should not be paid any compensation, and only nominal compensation can be paid. The Constitution allows legislation in that respect. I congratulate the Minister on bringing forward this progressive bill. The steel industry is the basis of our industrial structure. In fact, the extent of industrialization of a country is measured by the amount of steel consumed per head of the population. This industrial undertaking, namely the Iron and Steel Company, is a big industrial complex, and it consists of not only an integrated steel plant but also an iron foundry. The company was started initially after the First World War, and by 1952 it had increased its capacity to 1 million tons. But the decline in the fortunes of the company started in the 60s, and by 1963 the production had gone down to 1 lakh tons per year, that is 13% of its rated capacity as stated by the Honorable Minister. In fact, its production had reached a figure of 8 lakh tons. From that it came down to 1 lakh tons, which was a result of the rotten management and the low price of steel. Sir, we were expecting that this bill, which is before us and which has been passed by Rajya Sabha, would deal with some of the vital issues that are agitating the minds of the people and their living conditions also, but unfortunately it does not do so. The reality is that in the original Act of 1955 we have about 13 categories of essential commodities including cattle fodder, coal, automobile parts, cotton, wool, textiles, raw cotton, raw jute, drugs, food grains, iron ore, petroleum and petroleum products, sugar and sugarcane, but this bill touches only a few things. Here, the vital aspects are not even touched up. There is no statement of objects and regions appended with the bill so that we can grasp the meaning of this. As far as this bill is concerned, it deals with some formality and technical matters only. When we touch upon this subject, we know that there are three aspects which are important, such as production, distribution, and price. With regard to production, the whole country knows that there has been a bumper crop of food grains and we are patting ourselves on the back for that. Besides that, there have been huge imports. With regard to groundnut also, the minister has been declaring that there has been a bumper crop of 80 lakh tons and it comes to about 40% more than the last year's production. Here we have just now heard that the National Textile Corporation is playing its part in stepping production and making the sick and deserted units viable ones. In such a situation, when there is production on such a huge scale, what is the factor that is hindering the proper distribution and check on price rise in our country? I would like to ask, in view of the fact that the production in the public sector is growing, even the National Textile Corporation with 6 mills, most of them dead mills, is growing. I would like to know about role of the private sector in the matter of textiles. We have been hearing that the private sector is resorting to lockouts and even retrenchment. Is the government of India aware of the fact that the monopolies in our country are resorting to a policy of increasing profits by raising prices after reducing production? So their policy is anti-national. They reduce production and increase profit by raising the prices. In such a situation, this would hamper production next year when the real producers are not getting impetus, whether they produce food grains, edible oils, jute, sugarcane, cotton, or oil seeds. The danger is that they will not get adequate encouragement and the production may not go on steadily increasing as it did this year.